Does he know? Do we?
Egg is done on Heim and also his ultimate.
Does he not have jump?
Eesh, unlucky. My man didn't even get to use the Bifrost that time. And speaking of Frost, the other Frost had an excellent hurt play in middle lane, so you know we gotta celebrate that.
Oh, I'm a god, and that body block, brother. Please, please don't let that go.
Not bad for Frost, my man's making the plays. Now next up is gonna be Sam. I know he doesn't sound excited, but this is about the best that we're gonna get.
Is he fucking Jesus, that was just
Yeah.
Rated T for T. Rated T for teen. Rated T for teen. Rated T for Teen. Rated T for Teen. Rated
What does this guy knows? Like, he just like looks behind him. Does he know? Do he?
Yeah, he gets down on Heim and also his ultimate.
Does he not have?
Yeesh, unlucky. My man didn't even get to use the Bifrost that time. And speaking of Frost, the other Frost had an excellent hurt play in middle lane, so you know we gotta celebrate that.
Oh, I'm a god. And that body block, brother. Please? Please don't let that go. Thank you.
Not bad for Frost, my man's making the plays. Now next up is gonna be Sam. I know he doesn't sound excited, but this is about the best that we're gonna get from him.
I'm gonna walk into the red anyway.
Okay. Like
Oh,
Steve's
rattle.
here, we're just like, yeah, let's fight, man.
I
Oh,
mean,
jump
good.
down,
Our
too.
Suki's going in.
Is he fucking up? Jesus, how is this fucking good for us? How is this
Holy
good?
f, dude.
We should own them all.
Yes. Chase him, dude. He's on our backs. Holy f. I got a 3-man stun and a 3-man double tap.
Thanks for watching another episode of This Month in Smite, Smite fans. As always, if you want your clips featured in the next episode of This Month in Smite, you can always use the link that's in the YouTube description to get them submitted, earn your Savage approved avatar, and then maybe have me make a little bit of fun of you. As always, I'm gonna leave you with a clip, and this one is some of our SCC All-Stars really having fun out there.
Nuts.
Hello and welcome to the Monstercat
Hey there.
Update Show. Sorry for those initial technical difficulties, but we are live now. Welcome, and I am Titan Cupcake, and I am joined by Titan Clumsy and Titan Pompon.
Hello. Hello.
How's it going?
Welcome, welcome. We've got a very packed show for y'all today. So we've got the bonus balance that's coming May 4th. We've got community news, quality of life updates, the balance that's going live on May 18th with the Monstercat update. We've got Persephone rework, Athena remodel, Talons of Tyranny cosmetics, Azula Pele and Avatar news.
Oh my gosh.
Along with the Monstercat Battlepass at the end.
Yep.
And then after the show, we'll be throwing to the world premiere of Slushy's new song, Valhalla. So make sure you stick around for the whole show. It's going to be a long one, but tons of stuff coming y'all's way. Are y'all excited?
Yeah, very cool. Lots of stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, let's go ahead and start the show off by talking about the bonus balance that's going to be going live on May 4th. So, so many things to go over. The first set of items that we will go over will be Spear of Desolation. That's going to be getting a nerf with the bonus balance that goes live in a couple weeks. Will you tell us about what's going on with that, Clumsy?
Yeah, mage itemization right now has definitely been a large topic amongst the design team. And while you may see, spoiler alert for the main balance match coming up, a couple of mage buffs for items coming up, Desolation is definitely one that we noticed that with the previous changes to the passive, it's been overperforming. You're seeing it a lot more than maybe we would want to see. We're going to bring that passive down in its efficacy just a little bit, just a small tweak. And like I said, there will be some mage item buffs coming up, so this should be okay.
Okay, sweet. And I believe that this is tied in the Ansel nerf. Is that tied in with this a little bit?
No, it's more tied in with the upcoming Shifter Shield change that we can kind of tie together. If we want. Yeah, so Ansile and Shifter... Ansile and Shifter Shield are getting adjustments. These items are both very effective bruiser items. They had a lot of power to them. They also provide a lot of utility and protection. Ansile, that silence in particular, is very potent. When we started seeing these basically shoved into many builds for assassins and warriors alike, it's just too effective. We're going to bring down their overall power, adjust their costs and different parts of their stats. So Ansile is getting a cost increase and a power decrease, while Shifter Shield is just getting 2 power decreases, one on the base item, one on the passive part of it, just to make sure that those items are more in line with, they don't compete as directly with true DPS options.
Okay. Cool. And we've also got a nerf coming for the upgraded Bumba's Hammer. We'll be reducing the cooldown and removing all penetration for that.
Yeah, so we're pretty happy with the way the passive works. So we didn't really want to address that too much, but we are seeing Bumba's Hammer being picked up, as a 6th item for mages, is a lot in a lot of different roles. And we wanted to prioritize looking at the stats before the passive. So we think this is really a large changes that'll hopefully justify using the alternate upgrades, as well as making this one maybe not as ubiquitous for every character.
Yep.
All right, sweet. And that will cover all of the items that are going to be part of the bonus balance that goes live on May 4th. And next, we will talk about the gods. Who's ready for some Gilgamesh nerfs? Are we ready?
Yeah, we get some Gilgamesh nerfs. Let's go.
Yeah, so Sunforged Scimitar is going to be getting a change along with Heroes Advance. Will you tell us a little bit about that, Pawn?
Yeah, so Sunforged Scimitar, actually, I should probably preface this a little bit. Gilgamesh is getting a bonus balance change and a normal patch change, as I believe the next god on our list, Tiamat. This is the first set. This will be going live with bonus balance. We saw... On his release, some people are saying he might be strong, he might be weak. Some people actually thought our PTS nerf was too much. Going into it. And then he started to do really well. And then over the weekend, he really just completely threw out any notion that he was maybe okay or a little bit weak or a little bit strong. He's very strong. So first nerf was set up for a bonus balance. And then over the weekend, where we've already kind of locked these changes, we got more data. So we're going to do another change also in the main patch as well. So Sunforged Scimitar, decreasing the basic attack damage, scaling per health hit, and Hero's Advance, decreasing the scaling and increasing the cooldown, just hits to his overall damage output, some of the more easy damage in his kit from Hero's Advance, as well as making it less likely for him to escape or engage as frequently as he currently is.
Cool. And we'll go over his, that'll be hitting the battleground with the 8.5 update as well. But next up for the bonus balance, we have Tiamat also getting a nerf for her passive. Will you tell us a little bit about that, Clumsy?
Yeah, so another quick preface, like Pon said, just iterating on that, we are going to see bonus balance as well as main patch balance for Tiamat. A lot of that comes up from the fact that bonus balance was something we determined before, like the SPL weekend hit, and obviously we saw some interesting performance by Tiamat in the SPL. 100% pick ban. May not have gotten the win on the one game, but she was able to perform well there. But we're going to get to that again later. Beforehand, we noticed that one of the things that is strong about Tiamat, and we nerfed the mitigation on her passive before, is the healing side of things. So we're going to be decreasing that a little bit. So when you're using your serpents in your lane, or you're just in team fights and enemy gods go down, you don't get as big of a healing bonus from that. And we will see her again revisit that in the balance patch coming in a sec.
All right, cool. So let's go back into more of the gods that are going to be part of the bonus balance shifts. We've got Tsukiyomi, who is going to be getting some nerfs, I believe. Pawn.
Yes.
What's happening with Tsukiyomi?
We've done a lot of adjustments to his overall clear speed and base powers of a lot of abilities. We think his clear speed and his gank potential early on is a lot more fair now. But one thing that does stand out is Piercing Moonlight. That 30% damage mitigation, as well as just the raw damage output it provided, was very lethal. We're just taking the edge off that. Now, if he uses it as a last-ditch effort to survive, he's going to be more likely to die. And when he actually does get his dash damage hits out, which can be multiplied out by an extreme amount based off how many targets he hits, that's just going to be doing less and less over the course of this ultimate now.
All right, pretty straightforward. We've also got a nerf coming for Guan Yu's cavalry charge, where we'll be decreasing the base damage. Why is that, Clumsy?
So Guan Yu did get hit a little bit with the healing nerfs previously, with the brawlers changes, as well as with him, Guan Yu's healing himself and the cooldown, but he's still performing quite well. We're seeing him in high ranked as well as in SPL. We wanted to decrease the power of his ultimate, because if you play Guan Yu, you know that if you're getting every shot on that ultimate of cavalry charge, you're chunking, you're doing a lot of damage in team fights. So we wanted to just bring that down a little bit. Honestly, it's a bit of a slap on the wrist here.
All right, cool. We'll see how that plays out. Apollo is also getting some adjustments where he's also getting nerfed. A lot of nerfs coming this way.
Yeah.
So he's getting nerfs to Audacity, the moves, across the sky, all of those are being nerfed a little bit. Pon, will you give us a little bit of context on that?
Apollo had been the go-to hunter for the last few patches now, where he was really just this kind of dominant hunter pick. He brought a lot of control with the bigger map, being able to split push a lane, and not only boxing when we came to fight them, but also just rotate over to the fight. He could sit in the air for a while and really threaten and zone control the entire fight when he got up in the air. So we're just doing targeted nerfs just to take that edge off a bit and hopefully put him into a really good place, because we saw over SPO other hunters starting to get picked up and recognized. Audacity, decreasing the stacks gain from damaging an enemy god. He'll get his passive up a bit less often. The moves just decrease the movement speed and speed buff so that it's not so much of a heavy swing. And then finally, across the sky, late game, no more 30-second ultimates of you flying around laughing at the enemy team as they can't walk forward and contest anything. You're going to actually burn through your mana pool a lot more quickly in the later ranks.
All right, neat. And then Athena will also be getting a nerf to her Confound. Clumsy, will you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think this bonus balance really wouldn't be complete if there wasn't an Athena nerf on there. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who have played with and against Athena after these changes, and she shot up in the metrics. The changes were good, and probably a little bit too good. So we're going to be taking that Confound, that pain point there, reverting the duration change completely, as well as decreasing the damage through scaling the base for what we've given it. So overall, that change that we've given her, Athena, the new addition, we're going to be scaling back down on that.
She needs to chill.
Just a little bit.
We've also got some nerfs coming for On Her. So Impale and Desert Fury are both getting some nerfs as well. Pawn, will you tell us about On Her?
Yep, another go-to hunter pick, was doing really well. Just the raw lethality that he has, if he impales a target, or Desert Fury landing a few of those hits, especially early game, if you can combine that, just meant he could what the word is, close out lanes very effectively, right? So we're just taking some of that power scaling off, some of that base damage. Not too big of a hit, but just something there to make sure that he's adjusted, as well as he was really the long-standing top-picked top-end ranked player, or god. He was one of those characters that was basically in every game because no one wanted to ban him, but he was in every game. So also just looking to hit him there as well.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. I'm excited for this next one because Set is always after me, I feel like. Set is going to be getting some nerfs as well. Who wants to talk about that?
He's dead set in his ways. So,
Clumsy,
sorry.
no.
You have to talk about him now. You did that.
Sure. No problem. Well, it's really clear cut. Set is still the most banned god in ranked, and we see his variance, in his performance between casual games as well as in the SPL, where he's not being picked up as much as he used to be, but being the most bad god in ranked, that means it's a little bit of frustration there from the player base. And in order to help deal with them, we're going to make his main damage source with Skewer a little bit less effective, and also the main counterplay, which is the physical damage reduction during Sandstorm, a little bit less effective as well. So hopefully when he all-ins on your team, he'll be doing a little bit less damage, and you'll be able to be more effective against him.
I hope so. Please. Set, go away, please. And then the last god that we have
Oop. Hello. targeted change to one of the top-end ranked bullies. He's very prevalent in those types of games. And that extra second is 1 extra second of not needing to be worried about being plucked. In extended team fights, potentially 1 less pluck that actually happens. It's a very small change that will have a pretty cascading effect over the course of the game, just affecting how often you actually have to deal with trying to avoid this or trying to stay out of range of Selbek.
All right, sweet. And that will wrap it up for all of the bonus balance that's going live on May 4th. So let's get into some of the content that'll be released with that as well. So we've got the Talons of Tyranny event is going to be coming with some new skins. Kuzenbo is getting a skin, but his new skin is going to be called Kuzenbot. So let's take a look at Kuzenbot Kuzenbo. And I'm super excited for y'all to see this one because I am a really big fan of these it's kind of mechy, but also very cutesy. I like that combination. Look at him.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh yeah. I mean, it can't just be the card art, right? That the little Nene bot inside of him.
Yes, he's got a little Nene
that's on the skin.
bot.
Oh, that is super cool.
Super neat.
I love it when we do stuff like that.
The smileys got on the mech. Oh wow, that is amazing. Oh, it's even more.
Oh,
it's even more
him.
terrifying.
Yes, and his
He's
little
just
Nene just
staring at
sitting
you.
in his belly, waiting,
That is
Reflecting
so
off the
cool.
glass.
waiting to be deployed. Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Systems operational. Subsystem set to extreme prejudice.
Sweet. I love it.
Good stuff.
He's scary, but also kind of cute because of his belly.
Dude, his teeth are terrifying.
Right, a lot of scary things, but then also cute. And then we've also got
Whoa.
Stitch Creation Agni hitting the Talons of Tyranny event as well. And this one I feel like has got some serious scary clown vibes, but as a doll.
It's like the opposite of the Ganesha yarn, right? Or
What did he
I'm not
do
sure
to
what that
Ganesh
line
in the
is
bottom
called.
right?
Oh, is he even there? He is there.
No.
What did he
That's
do?
so cool. He's been unstitched.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
I love it when we have the card arts that reference each
Yeah,
other.
I was mentioning that. I didn't even realize he was there until Pon said it. This is super interesting.
Oh, it's so spooky. Very creepy.
Oh man.
And he's got the knitting stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I was back. Oh, yeah, that's creepy. Don't like. If that's
Spooky.
running at me, I'm running.
Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Ah, so we have found some foes to vanquish? Yes, let's kick the stuffing out of them!
Imagine if we made plushies of that and it's just sitting in your room staring at you as you
No,
sleep.
I like it in the game. I don't like it in real life.
It's
no.
not.
Not for your house. We've also got the Outer Planets chest coming to the battleground with the bonus, and it will have the first Tiamat
yes.
skin. And look at her. Look at her.
I heard we're doing something like this, but I haven't seen anything about it yet. So this is fantastic. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
It's going to come with the two different
really
stances, of course. So that's going to be exciting to see in game.
Yes, and I'm just excited for Tiamat to be getting her first official skin. That's not one of our recolors. Oh my gosh, look at
nice.
it!
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my gosh, that looks dope. So as a
Love the
reminder, this will be coming
spines.
out with the bonus update. So it'll be coming out before 8.5.
Nice.
Let's give the
Pitchfork
voice pack a
Trident
listen.
Tail.
So pretty.
These creatures, irregular. This civilization, pathetic. This world, mine for the taking.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you can
yes,
have
yes, yes. All day. This is great. I'm excited to see that new Tiamat coming after me. And I love it. Well, that is going to wrap it up for everything under the bonus balance update. If you missed anything, we've got the notes live right now on the site, so you can check it out. And we've also got all of the wallpapers there for if you want to make the Tiamat skin or anything, your wallpaper. Those are available for download as well. But let's jump into some community news that we have. The first thing that I want to talk to y'all about is, in case anybody missed it, SPL has started. And
Yes,
it seems
finally.
as though, yes, it was a fun weekend. But it seems like the Jade Dragons have brought the Jazzberry Jam. Am I saying that
The
right?
Jazzberry Jam.
It is
Let's go.
actually the best color.
I hope PBM heard that because he's been all about that Jazzberry Jam. And we also, along with SPL starting, we have new SPL merch available. And the proceeds for that will go directly into the players' pockets. So if you're looking for some new threads, pick up something from the SPL merch store. You could dress up in some Jazzberry Jam, support your favorite teams.
Yeah, one of all of these.
I know they're all so pretty, but the Jade Dragons one for me, I think is my favorite. I just love that color combination. And the hoodie for the Jade Dragons is pink, and I like that. We also have the fan art submission contest is open again for people to submit their fan art in hopes of it becoming a free cosmetic that's given away in our fall event. And then last but not least, if you haven't gotten it already, we have new Prime Gaming content available to claim for free. This time it is Archangel Chernobog. So if you haven't picked that up, make sure you claim that as well as a free little reward in game.
I like that. I like that the old Chernobog skin is or just the default in the background.
Yes, I hadn't seen that before. That was neat. But that will wrap up everything we've got for community news. So a couple of quality of life updates that will be coming y'all's way. I see that searching for starter items has been added and or fixed.
Oh.
Yep. Just different ways of using the store, making sure that everything is available to be searched properly.
Awesome. For me, that was always hard because I'm not a good speller, and I'd be like, "What should I buy?" And it's hard. And then also, we're going to be having ranked resets coming. This will only be for Diamond 1 and above players, and it will occur in 8.5 and 8.7. So ranked resets are coming.
Yeah, and the big thing there is we did a lot of adjustments to ranked at 8.1. People are progressing at completely different rates now, and making sure that the top end players have a reason to continue to grind against each other and continue to fight for who's the top. So Diamond 1 players will get reset down to Diamond 1, both in MMR and in Division.
Okay, cool. And then could you also give us a little bit of context on the early surrender changes that are coming?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so early surrender is a feature there to make sure that players in a situation where they detect the match doesn't feel quite right, someone disconnected, and they just want to get out of it and get into a new game, they can do so much more quickly than waiting for the full surrender time. But there are some abuse cases people can do with that, and one thing we want to make sure was that a team never felt disincentivized from actually utilizing the feature. One thing people could do was kind of grief the other team by causing them to lose MMR for their time. So now if one team early surrenders, the other team will get something in compensation for that time. So you can't use it just block someone from getting MMR.
Nice. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a great fix.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've also got tons of other bug fixes. So if you're looking for something specific, go ahead and check out the update notes to see what bug fixes are going to be hitting the battleground with each update. But let's go ahead and get right into the Monstercat update balance. So that will be 8.5 balance. Yes, the real balance, or not real balance. It's all real, but
the big
it'll be going live with, it'll be going live with the update on May 18th. And we're going to start off by talking about Wind Demon. So Wind Demon is going to be getting a nerf. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
I'll take that. Yep. So one of the benefits of SPL is that it allows the players to see, some of these items that are being picked up a lot more often than you might expect in your casual games, especially at higher elos. And Wind Demon is definitely one of those. Crit has kind of resurfaced back as something that has been a very strong item build for hunters, and we think Wind Demon is one of those crux and core items for those builds. It's not always there, but when it's there, it's definitely more effective than potentially any of the other crit items. So we're going to be decreasing its potency and its passive a little bit, mostly on the movement speed side of things, because an extra 20% movement speed for hunters, especially coming to late game with crit, can be quite frustrating to play against, and also a little bit on the attack speed too.
Okay, cool. Excited to see how that'll play out. We've also got some changes coming to the upgraded Magic Shell relic. Will you give us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so upgraded shell. If you've ever seen 4 upgraded shells on the enemy team and wondered why, it was because they could stagger them to get 8 block stacks, which is really good at stopping hunters and assassins. So we're changing the functionality of it. So now rather than blocking outright a basic attack, the shield is essentially 50% more effective against it. So when you have the upgraded shell shield on you, basic attacks incoming will just be cut in half rather than blocked outright, which means potentially you can mitigate a few more, but it also means other gods aren't completely shut out of using like their core basic attack components of their kit.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge impact, and we know the pros have been asking for something like this for a while. Certain assassins and characters, like Pon was alluding to, for example, with Pele and her ultimate, you're no longer stopping the complete ultimate from going off with a block stack of shell. It's still going to go through, but the base attack itself will be doing less damage. That's a pretty big change.
Yeah. Sounds good. Excited to see that in play. And then this one is for Clumsy. Are you ready to talk about the alternate timeline buff?
Yeah, and magical power was real low. Now it's real up.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We were real scared of that passive, but it's actually pretty counterable. Who knew?
Yes, 6 minutes is a pretty good timeline. We're still very heavily going to be monitoring how effective that is, especially in longer games. But with the 6 minutes, as the stats showed, it just wasn't enough. 45 magical power, even with the defenses it gives you, isn't a lot at all for a tier 3, late game replacement item. So we're going to bring that up a little bit more.
Okay. And then Archmage's Gem is also going to be getting some mana added to it. Pon, why is that?
Yeah, so we were looking at a few things. One was we saw, we just want to make sure that all the upgrades have different build opportunities for different mage builds. One thing we noticed was lacking with mage build was mana on the upgraded starter. If you're going something like a Book of Thoth build, that might be useful for you. But just also the gem itself was a bit underperforming. We saw people shift away entirely from the Conduit tree to the Sands of Time tree, or when they did go to the Conduit tree, Focus actually became a more popular option. So we just want to make sure Archmage's Gem has a little bit extra to keep it in relevancy with all the other choices.
Awesome. And then Gem of Focus is also going to be getting a buff.
Very similar along the lines that Pon just said. We're just making sure, with the starter items, we're going to be constantly assessing their balance and the upgrades as well. And we want to make sure that you have a good opportunity to use each one of them. Gem of Focus getting a 10 magical power buff, just in the same lines as the previous statements.
Alrighty. Pretty straightforward. And then Bumba's Spear is getting a shift/buff for the upgraded Bumba's Spear.
So junglers who might have been worried about the Bumba's Hammer change, you're going to get a spear buff, a hidden blade buff, and a Seer of the Jungle buff.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna let you take all of these.
You're going to get some stuff. So big thing here for Bumba Spears, it just felt underwhelming. It didn't feel rewarding enough in the late game. We're giving it some CDR, we're giving it some, we're removing the mana, but then we're giving power instead of gold gain when you kill a jungle monster. So now that 10% extra CDR will help you cast more abilities in the late game, as well as the extra 10% power can give you windows to create power play moments, especially while fighting in the jungle. You can quickly go heal up off a camp and rejoin a fight with 10% extra power. Going to be kind of swinging that way, and that's something that good players are going to be able to try and manage.
That sounds neat. So we've also got Mannequin's Hidden Blade getting buffed, the upgraded Mannequin's Hidden Blade. Why is that? Why are we
So the big
that?
thing, Mannequin's Hidden Blade is one that was underperforming. A lot of people just didn't feel like the burst potential on it was really high. And also because it was just basic attack power, it was really hard to find moments where you could synergize it into really any build. Because this is kind of the not inline upgrade, it can be a bit weirder with its stats. It's just going to actually convert that basic attack power to true power that'll affect your ability scaling and everything like that. And we're bumping up the actual proc because that proc is a bit difficult to manage and get reliably. And so you want to make sure it feels rewarding when you do so.
Okay. And then Seer of the Jungle, the upgrade for Seer of the Jungle, is also getting a buff.
Yep, Seer of the Jungle has a potentially very powerful effect of being able to become a ward clear. It was one of those things that we figured high-level players would really leverage a lot, but just the stats on it and the duration of it made it too prohibitive. We're going to give it some attack speed to make sure that build path is supported. Maybe some more attack speed junglers could actually go this route and really benefit from the attack speed there, but also give you 5 extra seconds to utilize that ward vision to make sure you can clear out everything. Potentially around a fire giant, you don't have to rush as quickly. You have time to get maybe 2 wards out rather than just 1, greatly increasing its overall effectiveness.
Alrighty. Thank you, Pon. We've also got the starter for Warrior's Axe getting a buff as well, where we'll be increasing the health and decreasing the cooldown.
So in the last update, we buffed Bluestone Pendant, and we've had our conversations back and forth about that, but it also led to the opportunity to talk about the other starter items for solo laners. And you even see in the SPL and some other games where they may not even pick up a starter item to begin with. And we want to make sure that each of these have their opportunities. So we're going to be seeing small buffs to Warrior's Axe as well as Warding Sigil. And for Warrior's Axe, it's really just allowing for that aggressive trade to happen a little bit more often and with a little bit more consequence.
Okay. And that'll lead us into a Warding Sigil, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, similar there. Warding Sigil, we're increasing its physical protection from 10 to 15 to just help it be in line with those other more aggressive options.
Cool. Thank you very much. Benevolence is also getting kind of a fix where the effect will now only give one nearby ally the bonus gold and XP.
Yeah, so this is mostly a fix. If you were playing Joust, you probably saw triple benevolence. It was splitting evenly the reward with everyone, and because of the rounding fix we added earlier, you were generating quite a bit of extra gold and experience that wasn't really intended. So now we're just fixing it so that you share it with only one ally, which means it's less likely to get rounded, which means you're less likely to generate gold out of thin air. So that stacking tactic doesn't work nearly as well anymore.
Cool. And then upgraded compassion is also getting a buff. Clumsy. Can you give us some details about that?
Yeah, it's mostly just losing the gold generation from the starter of benevolence at level 17 just felt, unfortunate for something that's going to be an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're giving it a little bit of gold generation once you've upgraded to its upgraded starter item.
All right, neat. Sentinel's boon is also getting a buff, the upgraded Sentinel's boon, where we'll be increasing the health and mana restored from the passive by 1%. Why is that, Paul?
Yeah. So we finally got the support items kind of in a place where we're seeing a lot of experimentation with multiple different choices. But when you do go Sentinels, we're still seeing a lot of Sentinels Embrace versus Boon. We're just going to increase the restorative effect that it provides. This is now a 24% health and mana restoration when you're Phoenix sieging or defending. Pretty good. We'll see if it can compete with Sentinels Embrace, but a step in the right direction.
Cool. And something to keep an eye on. We'll see how that plays out. We've also got Charon's Coin getting a buff where it's going to cost less and hurt more.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it for this one. But for a little bit of context, it's just, we alluded to earlier that Desolation was very powerful, but there's also a lot of mage itemization choices we wanted to make sure that players could opt into and not feel punished for. Charon's Coin is one of those where it definitely fell out of favor compared to Obsidian Shard or when we first introduced it. Bringing its cost down a little bit and its power up a little bit, we think will just bring it more in line with those other penetration options and something that you don't feel bad about building into your late game item builds.
Alrighty. Thank you. And then we're going to see Book of Toth also is going to be getting a buff as well. So the power will be increased. And can you give us some details about that, Pawn?
Yeah, so Book of Thoth is probably the main mage starter that doesn't involve a starter. You can rush it and try and really stack it early. You can build it like very quickly out of the gate. And so we want to make sure this item feels good when you build it in that scenario, just because it is a popular and one that people like to go when they're really trying to go that mana build. So we're just making sure that it contributes enough power to support that playstyle, especially as we keep bringing some of the power level up on some of these other mage starters.
Awesome. Sounds good. We've got Spear of the Magus getting a buff. Or is it Magus or Magus?
Oh, we can take a poll on that, but
Magus.
Magus.
I'd go Magus.
Okay. So Spear of the Magus then is
we're
adding
a poll,
12%
but we're saying
life.
it's Magus.
Chat can talk about it as well, but for us, we will call it Magus. But we'll be getting 12% lifesteal added.
This is a spicy one, and really what it comes down to is that when it comes to these power and penetration options, that's kind of all you're getting with some of these, right? You've got Divine Ruin, which has its very niche but specific application. You've got Obsidian Shard with 1%, and Desolation, like we talked about, but they all are really just giving you power pen. Magus didn't really fit into that because its passive was still there and basically just said more power. But we're adding a new set onto it, which is, which would be really interesting and something that we're going to follow along for sure at past its release. And that's lifesteal. Now, if you want to continue on from your lifesteal builds, whether you're playing Anubis and you have your Typhon's Fang and Bancroft, or you just want to flex into a little bit more and you don't really want to pick up like a soul gem, you can now get a little bit of power pen and lifesteal and a little bit more flexibility into your item choices.
Neat. 12% lifesteal it sounds like a lot, but I guess we'll watch it and see how it goes.
For mage items, that's about normal, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's around how much Soul Gem has.
Okay, sweet. We've also got a buff coming for Mail of Renewal. What's going on with that, Pawn?
So Mail of Renewal, new item, got completely reworked passive. And one thing that we noticed was people really wanted to embrace the style of like healing your team up, but it just took too long. And so we're decreasing the health from this item a little bit just to compensate for the buff that we're about to give it, which is we're cutting the time the heal takes to complete in half. You'll get the same amount of healing in half the time, which means that you'll feel this much more over the course of a team fight when you're trying to actually restore your team. So just a nice buff to this to make you feel the effect more.
Oh, that's exciting. Twice as fast.
Yep.
And then Stone of Fall is going to be the last item that we have changes happening to. And it's just going to get a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, so we introduced the passive changes and basically reworked of the items for Mail of Renewal and Stone of Fall. And Stone of Fall, we're still very happy with its identity, especially, focusing Guardians to get into the fight in the fray with their basic attacks. We still think that's something really interesting, but the high cost, especially for Guardians, we thought might have been prohibitive. So reducing the cost will allow more players to really pick it up and give it a try, give it a use, and see if you enjoy using it, and then we can reassess from there.
Awesome. Well, that is going to cover all of the items that are getting shifted around for our Monstercat update that goes live on May 18th. Yes, I remembered it correctly.
Nice.
So let's get into the gods. We talked about Gilgamesh and Tiamat during the bonus part of the show, but we're going to be talking about them again. So Gilgamesh, getting a nerf. Tell us about it. What's going on?
Round 2. Yeah, he rose on the stats for the weekend, so he's getting a second nerf, one in bonus, one here. And just the raw damage output he had, his ability to fight was just too high. Sunforged Scimitar getting a base damage decrease, mainly as you rank it up, so his level 1 is roughly equivalent, and Dropkick also getting that kind of same late game focus adjustment where we're taking some of the stun duration off from ranking this. This does mean his level 1 is technically a little bit stronger with Dropkick, but we think the nerfs in the bonus balance combined with the nerfs to Sunforged Scimitar and that clear more than compensate for that small little adjustment, especially because you are often ranking Dropkick anyway.
Alrighty. I'm excited to see how those play out. And then Tiamat again is also going to be getting a nerf as well in bonus and in the update on 8.5.
Yep, that's right. I think a lot of players are still trying to figure out whether Tiamat is obscenely busted or, just good or maybe just bad, honestly. But one thing that we noticed, especially in the SPL, if you guys were watching in the game that she was played, is the Basilisks again. And we talked about this last update show with her changes, is that we were very well aware that the Basilisks may have a chance to be too strong, but it's much easier to tone them down one by one than it is to just outright gut it and then buff it back up to potency. So this next change is honestly pretty severe. We're reducing the lifetime of the Summoned Serpents deployable from 21 seconds to 11 seconds. What this really means is that you're going to get 2 waves of Serpents instead of 3 waves. So now coming to the late game, when CDR comes into effect, you may not have 6 Serpents every single time she used that ability coming in, and then another 6 on top of that if she wants to use that before going towards Fire Giant or wherever she may be going. Now you're going to get a decreased number of Serpents each time. That's going to be a lot less pressure.
Good. She deserves it.
She does. And we're going to continue reassessing because, if we continue to see this be a problem, we will nerf it again. It's no problem.
I'm trusting you, Clumsy.
I'll buff it. It's okay.
Stop.
50 seconds.
Invincible.
So we've covered Gilgamesh, we've covered Tiamat, so let's get into the rest of the gods. Now they will be alphabetical. And again, the notes are live if y'all want to follow along. So Bakasur is going to be getting a buff to his Eat Minion and Butcher Blades. Will you give us a little bit of insight on that, Pom Pom?
Bakasur just really fell off. We expected a lot more from him in Season 8 with the bigger map. We even preemptively kind of adjusted his passive. He was one of the very few characters we really did that on. And it just didn't really bear out that he ended up being that strong in this map. So we're going to give him a buff. Eat Minion, we're going to actually kind of change its function a little bit. It always felt like a little bit of you had to kind of like choose how much mana you want to spend to clear. Eat Minion will now actually be mana positive. So you actually want to just eat as much as you can. There's never a feel bad reason to eat a minion. Just go to town on that. And then finally, Butcher Blades, decrease cooldown from 14 seconds to 12 seconds, just increasing his clear speed overall, making sure that he can box effectively. Kind of rather than bringing power back to the passive, because you also know that one is very strong when it gets too strong, making sure that his individual abilities feel good to use.
Alrighty, sounds good. And now Baylona is getting a buff as well to Bludgeon and Eagle's Rally. Will you give us some context, Clumsy?
Yeah, Soul Lane is all about, what you can do early game to exert a pressure lead and what you can fulfill for your team late game. And even when Mannequin Scepter was extremely strong for warriors and solo laners, Bellona, who was someone utilized that really well, wasn't actually picked up that much. And even if she wasn't performing all that strongly. We did a lot of changes for her ultimate previously, and we're going to continue monitoring her, especially after these changes, to make sure that she's still a viable pick. Increasing the bludgeon damage is going to help with the clear and your early game pressure, and Eagle's Rally. 1 second is actually pretty short for an ultimate stun duration, so we're going to buff it just a little bit, 0.25 seconds, which might even help her confirm a little bit more damage, and her team too.
Alrighty. And then a pretty, I think, substantial change is coming for Chiron, where he will no longer... I'm sorry, you take it, Pumpon. You tell us all about it.
Yeah, so Giddy Up, you are now immune to knockups while you're galloping. So one big thing
makes sense.
Yeah, he's a horse. Horses are heavy. It's going to be really hard to stop them when they're galloping. This also just has the strong application of you have to be a lot more specific with how you choose to stop Chiron who's trying to get away from you. A lot fewer characters now can really truly stop him, which opens up just a whole bunch of opportunities for him to be picked into different compositions.
So you're saying he's unstoppable, and that's the plan?
Yep.
Sounds
next
great.
He'll just trample and squish people, execute.
Perfect.
That's the next
execute.
buff if we need it.
I like it.
I've been trying to tell y'all to give Neith an execute, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Daji's next up. She'll be getting a buff to 1,000 cuts and Trickster Spirit. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so Daji, she had her time to shine for sure. She was, very strong, and then she kind of fell out of favor, and she never really picked up much steam after that. Sometimes, similar to Ao Kuang, she'd be picked up a little bit, but then very soon afterwards, she fell out of favor again. And one part about that is while her mid to late game scaling is pretty strong, her early game getting off the ground is not that great. So here we're going to be addressing two of her damage abilities, specifically for their base damage, because we think bringing that up for her early to mid game will allow her to transition to her late game, where her ultimate and her scaling will shine.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Clumsy. And then someone I haven't seen in a little while, to be honest, Fafnir. He's going to be getting a buff. What's going on with Fafnir?
Yeah, Fafnir, when you're playing him, even though you do have the ultimate that lets you transition to the dragon form and get your cooldowns back, his cooldowns when you don't do that feel very long, and it's hard to contribute to your team outside the initial engage, where other supports often get a second round of CC. You're just kind of stuck trying to wait and hope your team doesn't die. We're just going to decrease his cooldowns overall. So Curse Strength and Underhanded Tactics, getting pretty substantial cooldown reductions, just opens up his play opportunity, and actually lets him play more of that support role and help his team.
That's neat. I hope I'll see him a little bit more then. And then one of the gods who has a skin like the Kuzenbot one where they have the animal inside the suit, Hera, is getting a buff.
Nice. I was like, I've got to remember which skin that was.
I had to remember which
where
skin,
are we going with this? She's got two of them, actually. But anyway, Hera's going to be getting a buff to Polymorph and Divine Shroud. What's going on with Hera?
So Hera, she was pretty. First, she was doing pretty good as a mage. A lot of people picked her if you liked her and didn't if you didn't, but that's fine. And then we saw a lot more use, which is fine. Yeah, that's okay. We saw a lot more use out of her when people started realizing how powerful that shield was. And because of that, we actually brought some pretty decent nerfs to the shield, and she just plummeted. People were just like, nah, she's not survivable anymore. I'm not going to pick her. So basically, since then, we wanted to address what we can do for her. We noticed that her damage output is a little bit on the lower side, just still tad, so we're going to be increasing that with the scaling on Polymorph. And we didn't want to do a full revert to the shield because that would just bring her back to the point where she was previously, where she might have been too strong. So we're kind of doing a shift here where we know it might be a little bit of a 1-point wonder, so we're going to give her the early rank upgrade for Divine Shroud, and we're going to go from 15 to 17 per level rather than to the previous of 20, so that towards the late game it kind of comes back to the numbers we see a little bit more now, or in between.
Okay, awesome. And then my man Kukulkan is getting a buff, which is exciting. I do love Kukulkan. And he'll be getting some decreased cooldowns on Slipstream. I believe it'll be leveling. Will you give us some insight on that, Pawn?
Yeah, I think it was Season 7 we did the Whirlwind change, where the time it took to tick on targets changed. We did a few other buffs there, and he kind of rose into a core mage, enough so that we actually had to nerf him, take some power off his passive, and then we saw him stabilize out and then slowly kind of wean off as someone that people aren't really picking. We just want to give him some extra utility. Slipstream getting the cooldown reduction means he can rotate faster, he can juke things, he can set up for his ultimate better. Just kind of rounds out his kit. Just the kind of buff that he needs to like just kind of push him back into a potential core mage.
Awesome. I'm excited to see that because I'm always playing Kulkin in mid. So I will take the buff.
Yeah,
And
I think one of our
sorry.
resident devs, Wormy, just absolutely adores Kukulkan. Just weird to me.
Yes. I feel like he's got a little bit of everything. And his clear is great.
Mm-hmm.
He's a snake. It's great. We've also got a buff coming in for Medusa. What's going on with Medusa, Clumsy?
So yeah, we've given Medusa a lot of power through increasing the number of shots of her Viper shot, I believe. And while she was picked up quite a lot at the time, and it looked like she was going to survive those buffs and, you know, maybe even need nerfs, that just didn't end up being true. She just fell back down out of favor again. We want to do a little bit of changes at a time because we think she can be pretty effective. Lacerate, the healing debuff duration increasing. I think this is just kind of normalizing the duration for healing debuffs across the board. I believe like Sobek's Sicknick Strike also is 4 seconds, so this is kind of bringing it in line. And then the cooldown reduction, 15 seconds for, I wouldn't say she's the most mobile kind of hunter, is pretty long. So scaling that to 13 seconds will help her out in the late game.
Cool. And last but not least, for the gods getting a change during the Monstercat update, live May 18th, is Mulan. So she will be getting a buff, getting stronger with time. What's going on with Mulan, Pompon?
This is really focused around her late game kind of warrior utility that warriors want to bring. They want to be the front line for their team. And the duration on cross strike, the attack speed buff, and the protection buff from grapple just didn't really enable enough time for that. So we're increasing the buff duration when she actually gets those online. But we're also increasing the stun duration on grapple so that she actually can follow up more aggressively, and her team can follow up more aggressively off a successful grapple. That kind of stuff is the thing that you want a warrior for. And so having extra time to confirm abilities off a pick is just going to be super valuable for her.
I think her teammates will be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But that is going
That's
to
good.
cover everything balance-wise for the
Nice.
Monstercat update.
We did
but
it.
we do have
We did it.
one big thing happening to Persephone. And it's an entire
Yeah.
rework. So
Oh, is it time?
let's go ahead. It is time. It is time.
I haven't heard anything about this yet. I just
Yeah,
haven't.
no, there's been zero feedback, I think.
I think it has got some people a little split, but I think that once they see what's going on in game and get to see kind of our thought process behind it, I think we'll be able to win some people over. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit about why you guys think that Persephone needs this rework to begin with.
Yeah, so I would encourage everyone to go read the dev update blog post. It goes into detail about her win rate stats, which are really low across the entire board, her pick rate stats, which are really low across the entire board, the community perception on her, which is really rough. She was one of those characters that when you had to fight against her, you just kind of had some dread. I remember in one of our playtests, one of our playtesters even said, like, man, it was actually kind of relieving walking in here and like fighting a Persephone and not just having that immediate dread. And so that's really, like, that's the perfect criteria for the rework candidates. We have this character who really could only excel at the very, 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 very top level of play. Only like literal SPL players were really heavily using this character. A lot of people were struggling. There was things that the kit felt clunky or off-putting and pushed people away. And so we're doing adjustments to really address a lot of those top-end concerns. So, for example, passive revival, that effect was just really strong, and there's not really a great way to tune that. So that's one of the things that we look to address, as well as what can Persephone do to actually confirm damage? Because against good players, you had to rely on the stage 2 plant rather than the stage 3 plant, because no one's going to get hit by the stage 3 plant as long as they have any amount of reaction time, because they know how to juke it. So those are the types of things we're addressing, giving Persephone more direct control over her kit, as well as giving enemies more clear counterplay opportunities, more clear understanding of where her damage is coming from. And so I think we can get into it and kind of show off the different abilities.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's
let's do
head
it.
in game. I'm excited to see everything because I read the blog, but I want to see it in action. She's
Yeah.
so beautiful too.
And she looks the same, which I think everyone really appreciates the artwork. They really resonate with the design of her. The skeletal minions and the plants especially, those are super iconic. So those are things that like we also really want to preserve. We didn't want to really address any of that and touch any of that because it's all so good.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of my favorite like visual gods and goddesses that we have. I just feel like she's just really pretty.
And she summons crazy, creepy skeletons.
So let's start going through the main kit. So her one previously it had a you'd fire it and you had to really lead your targets because it was it had a very long cast time and didn't update your aim. As well as for pro players, the range in it was so long that you couldn't help but just be poked by this and zoned by this and have to give up so much pressure. So now it's going to be a more kind of standard mage ability where you fire this out, it's passive minions, damage, and stops on targets. So you can see here, charges forward, hits, slows the target there, as well as I can now aim it and update it to send it flying to new targets after I fire it, which will just make this ability feel a lot more intuitive with how most other mages feel when you pick up a character in Smite. You can see it still places a harvest plant at the feet where it hits, or at max range, so you can see here I throw it out there. You got that skull there, so you can still use this to place skulls. So that's the main up here, just making this a bit more intuitive feeling ability in Smite. This was a more minor rework, but the next ability is going to be like a completely new ability. So this is Harvest. You can see this new targeter shape. It's a area with 3 skulls kind of side of it. You fire it, a brief windup happens and it explodes, creating 3 seeds around it. You can see here I can use this to damage ability or damage enemies. So you can use it to actually poke enemy gods, and you can also use it to poke and set up your seeds at the same time. Skulls, you can also tell, are upgrading immediately to the flower stage. They're no longer going to the bud stage. We're focusing more on you utilizing the charging flowers, and we're giving you much more control over them. So before you'd fire this, and it would just charge at the nearest enemy god and try and follow them. Here you can actually aim it. So you can see when I attack it here, I can aim it, I attack here, it'll try and bite as it gets close. And it's controlled entirely by my basic attack range. So you can see here, like if I'm really close, I can aim a little bit to the right, and it'll go out to the right. I can aim a little bit to the left, it'll go to the left. I can send it wherever I want, and if I have multiple of these out, we'll let them upgrade a little bit, pre-plan a little bit and have a backup so I can use. You can send them to like, hey, they're trying to walk this way. Oh, they're trying to get cut off. I can cut them off this way. Send them out flying that way. You have a lot more play with where you're going to actually send these out. Another important thing is you can send them through the walls. So you can actually catch people who are trying to run through areas. You can catch people who are trying to hide over walls. Yeah, there's no escaping her plants. They're nature. They just kind of move through it.
Their nature.
Nature perseveres.
So that's the main thing here is it's now a cooldown-based ability, which means as much as you can't do 6 plants immediately from storing them up, over the course of a game with some CDR, you will actually be casting this significantly more often. You will have more plants to play with. Especially when you're trying to Phoenix Siege, you're going to be chucking these at the enemy all the time. You're going to be throwing these out there, trying to poke your opponents with them, trying to lead them off, head them off. And the most important thing is enemies have a clear understanding of what they need to do to avoid this. They need to get out of the way. They need to try and outrun it. It's no longer this kind of like you have to just have someone tell you, oh yeah, do a little shuffle step like this and you'll avoid it every time.
Right.
So no more shuffle step, but more plants.
Onto the third ability. This is going to be very familiar to players. It's just going to... The only real major difference is that now this does damage on takeoff, so you can see that I hurt my target there. As well as I don't have the pre-seed that I get before because there's no tier 2 plant, as well as there's no really harvest ability to cast upgrade. This damage is really there for the Persephone players who were doing the things like casting this and basic attacking after they leapt for some damage, just to make sure that that's still there if they're escaping from a target jumping on them.
You know what that makes me think of? Neath back.
Actually, that was when we were developing her initially. That was like one thing we wanted to be sure that you could do was like backflip. We were talking about like how backflip interacts, making sure that she could go over walls because this was considered a leap, and making sure that that was very clear to players. So yeah, it does have a little bit of that feel.
Nice.
And obviously, the other combo you can do now is you can drop these down, have 3 plants immediately, and send them out flying. One problem Persephone had that we wanted to address with this was if you didn't have a garden set up, you were kind of at the mercy of how the fight was going that you couldn't really contribute much to outside of a single exploding plant. You now in a situation where you got caught off guard completely, maybe you had to rotate because your team moved in a direction that doesn't make any sense, they just decided to chase a kill. You can now pop this down and then leap and send a charging army of your team pretty much on demand, which is definitely a lot more flexibility than she had before. And then finally, we'll see if Bot's Orbit behaves. It doesn't like you always. The ultimate, previously what would happen is you wouldn't be able to move further out. Now that, see, Bot's Orbit doesn't behave. That Odin before if you moved ever closer, you get more constricted. The ultimate was a huge pain point at the top level because it is a projectile that travels globally, has a big effect area, and it didn't feel like you could ever really counterplay it. Yes, see, Bots Orbit ain't gonna behave. It just felt very restricted to play against, but we like the core identity and feel of this ability, the idea that the enemy team can come and try and save their trapped teammate. And so one thing that alleviated a lot of the frustration around fighting it was that max range movement. You can actually move up to the max range now, which means Persephone and your team have to work a little bit harder to damage you. It's not going to be so free if they get you close to the center of it. It's not going to be as immediate of a beads burn. Our teams have more opportunities to play around it before they decide they need to burn beads. Just more opportunity, which is the theme of things. So the core thing is playing against Persephone should be a lot more intuitive. It should feel a lot better. It's a lot more manageable. But Persephone herself has more confirmable damage with firing these abilities. She can use the slow to line up targets. She can control the direction they run. She can use this to cut off targets. Her ability to influence what her plans actually do and how successful they are is now in her hands versus the hands of some AI. And then finally, we have the passive rework, which was one of those effects that even if she only did CC, let's say you took all damage off her and she could only do CC, there's something inherent about Smite where when you kill a target, you should feel rewarded and successful for having done the thing. You pick out the Persephone. If you lose a fight because she could still contribute and she still was able to turn the tables, it doesn't matter how balanced it might be. Hi, Kernanos. Kernanos is just chilling over there.
What's going on, Kernanos?
Don't scared me. No matter how fair it might feel or it might be, it's not going to feel fair. And so we thought about what we want to do the passive. We thought the idea of her going to this death realm and reviving and doing something after she dies was still very core to her thematics and something players would appreciate. So in this case, let me turn off God mode. You now enter the death realm. You can see I now can't see anyone. I can't interact with anyone. I don't know where anyone is, but now I'm in this kind of planning stage. So let's say I die in mid lane and I think, hey, they're going to have a fight around Fire Giant. Let's place a few seeds here. Then let's maybe walk over here, put one back here, one back here. And then finally, just in case, I'm going to put one in mid just to make sure I'm good to go. You can place up to 6 seeds in the state. You have all the time that you would normally be respawning. Your respawn timer has started, so you can see I have 28 seconds to respawn. So being in the state is no negative to you. It's entirely just something that you get to do for free. It doesn't cost seeds to enter. And then once you decide to respawn, so I'm going to right-click here to exit the state. I have 17 seconds. I'm just going to revive immediately because I'm a hacker.
And you still get the gold for the seeds as well.
And you still get the gold for the seeds as well. So you can you're still rewarded for actually utilizing the garden, creating a whole bunch of plants using them. You can see now that I have exactly where I placed them. If a fight breaks out in mid, I at least have something to immediately use before I start using my 2. I have plants around Fire Giants, so I need to rush there and start contesting that immediately. Before I might have to use this ability to set up something, and then the enemy team starts fighting and I've lost one of my core damaging abilities. If you can plan ahead, you get rewarded by having a garden there for you to utilize immediately. So definitely something that you're gonna have to have a lot of map awareness to make effective, but definitely just something that she brings that's unique to her, that is kind of reminiscent of the idea that she when she dies, she revives and gets to do something, which we thought was core to her identity.
I feel like that really
that
goes
should be
with
the
that
rework.
Cute cultivator skin or whatever. She's like such a gardener.
Yep.
Yep, and that was actually something we had to go through and make sure. There's a few new effects, so for anyone who is interested in looking at the skin, like for example, this targeter, as well as that explosion effect and everything, that's a completely new effect. We have a few other new effects and sound effects here and there, so you'll be able to explore all the skins and see those as well and what they look like. I think in particular, the Oblivion Queen one looks really cool.
Oh, yes.
The explosion there is really neat. It has like this like white skull that pops up in the center. Just really cool stuff there. So super happy with everything.
Awesome.
I'm hoping everyone enjoys Persephone to play against it. I encourage everyone to go on the PTS, try it out. I think you'll find that your playstyle loop is very similar, but you have a lot of tools at your disposal with the 1 slow and leading targets with your 2. I think one time I was fighting Clumsy, and I forced him with 5 plants to run into my jungler because he was trying to avoid them. I just kept zoning him all the way over to the right lane. The jungler came over the wall, then we just confirmed a kill. And that's kind of neat stuff that I think you now have control to do versus before having to rely on this random RNG AI.
Yeah, playing with and against Persephone, I'd say for those that think that her skill ceiling has dropped to just a normal mage, that's definitely not the truth. She is still a very unique and hard to play character. And when I say hard to play, hard to master character. She hasn't lost any of that.
Cool. I hope everyone gets to try it out on PTS and enjoys it.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So in her ult, when you're like tethered, am I wrong? As you walk away from the center, you're slowed, but as you walk towards, it's fine.
Yes, and so that was to kind of softly reinforce the old idea, which was getting away from it's a little bit harder, but it's not so detrimental as the hard route used to be. So there is a slow when you're walking away, just to make sure that like you have a little bit of CC feel still on you, to let you know you are grasp.
All right, cool. Thank you for clarifying. I just wanted to make sure I had it right. But that will cover everything from the Persephone rework. If anybody missed it, we have a blog online all about it. It's also in the update notes. So all the information you need is on our website, smitegame.com/news. But let's go ahead and get into another big, exciting thing happening on the Battleground is going to be the Athena remodel. So this is different from a rework. Her kit is going to be staying the same. This is all visual. So let's take a look at the card art. Oh my gosh.
So pretty. Of the owls.
It is so nice. Yes, and I feel like this ties back to, where she's from a little bit better with her hair, and she's got an updated voice pack as well, so we'll go over that.
Yeah, that's huge.
And so we've updated her base, her masteries, and her recolor as well.
Oh, that's so cool. The legendary coloration's so great.
Yes. I love the recolor. That red, it pops. I love it. If you
Very
are
cool
curious,
stuff.
though, if you are all about the classics, we will have the classic skin available for purchase, and it will use the old voice pack, and you can get that for either favor or gems. Oh, yes. I want to cosplay this so bad. This is beautiful.
I'm so glad we've like revisited some of these older characters. The Sobek,
Wisdom
Athena
and
now,
strategy are better defenses than shields and armor.
Oh my goodness. Yes, and I love her updated voice pack. Yes.
Yeah, the art team revisiting these older characters and updating them has been really cool to see what they do with them.
Just like brings like a new life to these characters. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, and like we said, the kit will be staying the same. So if you are an Athena main, your playstyle will stay the same. You'll just look a little bit more stylish.
Which now your Confound is nerfed, so
Oh, right.
You're still pretty strong. You're still pretty happy with the nerf.
Well, we've got tons of other cosmetics that are going to be coming to the Battleground with the 8.5 Monstercat update on May 18th. So let's take a look at the Talons of Tyranny stuff. We'll start by going over the Talons of Tyranny video. So we'll be right back, y'all. And we dance.
And goddesses, welcome to Talons of Tyranny, an all-new event in Smite, featuring new gods to discover, quests to earn gems, and brand new skins, including Smite's newest Tier 5 skin, Forgotten Gods Chalk. Talons of Tyranny follows Tiamat's influence on Olympus and beyond. Will the goddess of the Salt Sea bring salvation to the battleground, or will her presence sow discord among the gods? Talons of Tyranny introduces all new gods, including Tiamat, Gilgamesh, and a god yet to be discovered. Joining these deities are all new skins, including Bitslayer Tsukiyomi, Battle Tagger Scotty, and the community-requested Unholy Doodle Raw Skin. Complete Talons of Tyranny's chapters and earn rewards like Deathy Chibi Thanatos. Only those brave enough to conquer every Talons of Tyranny chapter will be rewarded with Smite's newest Tier 5 skin, Forgotten Gods Chalk. Talons of Tyranny is 2021's biggest Smite event yet, with new gods, skins, quests, and more. Are you up to the challenge? Talons of Tyranny, available now in Smite. Go ahead, play God.
Welcome back, and Clumsy has headed off, but Tina is here. Hi, Tina.
Hello, Tina.
Hey, guys! I've been watching you for the past hour, so you know.
I've been watching you for like a week. I'm at your house. I'm just kidding.
Ooh, yikes.
I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
How you doing, Tina? Welcome.
Good. I've been doing good. I've been talking to our guest.
Yes, Slushy will be joining us for the Battle Pass section towards the end. So let's get through the Talons of Tyranny content so we can get to the Battle Pass content towards the end of the show. So first, we will have a new skin for the Talons of Tyranny event. For Opwash, it is Malware Master. Let's take a look at the card art.
Oh my gosh. He needs to take it down like 3 notches.
I feel like I can hear this image.
Yeah, I can definitely hear this image.
like Mars attacks, you know, like that.
Yes, it's some sort of screeching.
Yes, same.
Oh my god, but it's so scary. Like the way that he's standing and like with this skin, just very scary.
I don't like his eyes. They freak me out because they're red. Well, I thought they're red in the. Yeah.
But our audio team has told us that they put some really cool techie elements into the sounds for his abilities. So when PTS goes out, make sure to check him out and see what you think. But we've also got other skins like Depths Defender Odin.
Ooh, yes. The Hammerhead one? Hell yeah.
Yes. Look at him. He's so cute. But scary also.
Yeah, so scary. I'm so scared right now.
I love that pirate. Smile. Yeah, right.
Oh, look at that smile.
Oh my goodness, I love it. And he's still got his legs, so he can still run around. But
I love the
tail.
tail.
I love it. I love his head. I love his face. I love his eyes. I love his smile. But let's give the voice pack a listen.
Yeah.
I will say the wrath of the sea.
Yes. I love it. He's so sharky.
Yeah.
And then next up, we have Moon Seer Oleron. I saw a lot of people wondering when we were going to get an Oleron skin, so here you go. And look at him.
Oh, he looks so cool.
Amazing. I love like the different runes that are all around him and the paint.
He looks very druidic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the skins of contrast. Like he has all like these super bright effects, and this is much more. It feels much more calm.
Oh yeah.
Very calm.
Let's check it out in game.
Yeah. Whoa.
Ooh. You can see his toes.
Oh, and his heels. Right? Are those exposed?
Yeah. I think you're right. They're like kind of like
he's like wearing
socks.
like toe socksies.
Yes.
All the little supplemental extras are really neat.
Mm-hmm.
The shoulder pad like beam thing. That's just cool.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
Flare?
Oh, that is really, really neat. If someone cosplays that, I want to know how they make the little shoulder parts. But
and
let's
the
give
floating
the voice pack a
rocks.
listen. Oh yeah.
I was called here by the spirits and secrets in the very stars. It is fortunate for you that I am here and on your side.
Oh my goodness, I trust him. I love it. He sounds like a super nice guy.
I know, right? I just want to have a
Awesome
hot dog
stuff.
with him.
And then last up for Talons of Tyranny, we have the unlimited reward. Sea Nymph Soul. Here we go. I tried to tell y'all it was a Kepler skin. Nobody believed me.
Oh my gosh. That's great.
Oh, I love her.
I love it. Yes, makes me want to dye my
I
hair
love
purple.
all mermaids. I know, right? Mermaids are so like serene and watery.
Yeah.
Those are keywords.
They are. But I love it. I know that Soul, people have wanted a mermaid skin for Soul for forever. So here you go. We finally got it. Oh my gosh, look at her. And I feel like Soul fits perfectly for a mermaid, just the way that she runs around or swims through the air.
Yeah. Her animations work perfectly well.
Oh, she's also got little bubbles. That's so cute.
Yeah, she does.
Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Finally! The storms are gone and the sea is calm and pristine!
I love it. She sounds so sweet and happy. Like, if you were to meet her while you're at the beach, maybe you'd be friends and pen pals when you left. I love it. Well, that is going to, again, be the unlimited reward for this chapter of the Talents of Tyranny event. And then I'm sure a lot of y'all saw our announcement yesterday about Avatar. Avatar. So Azula Pele is going to be hitting the battleground with this update, which is super exciting to be increasing the roster that we have for Avatar in Smite. But along with that, if you missed the Battle Pass last time, or you didn't finish it, or there was anything that happened where you didn't get everything you needed from the Avatar Battle Pass, all of those skins will be coming back to the Battle Pass or to the store as well. So you'll be able to pick those up. But let's take a look at Azula Pele. Azula, yay!
We did it!
There she
so
is! I am
For
so excited
super
for
neat.
Yeah.
Yes.
She will roast me.
Look at her. So
The team that-
our audio team. Sorry, go ahead.
The team that worked on all these Avatar skins, they have a whole bunch of passion for this stuff, and they put in like there's like super small details from like how they animate and what effects are there, and all like making sure like that pose is like very iconic of the series, like making sure all that's in. You can just see like the amount they pour into this. It's really cool.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
and they're super fans
sure
too. Like we have like a team that's like the Avatar Strike team, and they're like all super fans of Avatar, so they're super passionate. They make sure that everything is like top tier for this skin.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure that working on it for them was like really incredible. All of the Avatar stuff. And then I also wanted to throw out that we have the voice actress Megan Shipman, who will be voicing Azula Pele. And then the last little note from our audio team was that Pele's sound design works very well for Azula, so we're excited for y'all to hear it all in game when you try it out in PTS. Let's give the voice pack a listen.
My brother has disgraced the Fire Lord and brought shame on all of us. I will not hesitate to bring him down.
Oh, yes. This is so good. Let's head in game to get a better look.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, yes! Oh my gosh, these effects. Really, oh my goodness. It is so exciting to see these things like really brought to life in Smite. When I first started playing Smite like 6 years ago or something, I never imagined that we would be where we are today. Oh, look at her. Look at her go.
Dude, the music, you hear it?
Yeah, the music's active during that. And finally we got the ultimate here.
Oh my gosh, that is
Super
so dope.
Crazy lightning. Oh, I love the sparking effect to show that you're in the ult state.
Yes!
Woo!
Oh, this is so pretty.
It's so hot, dude.
I love how the effects glow and have so much contrast with everybody around them. Beautiful. So
I don't know if you were told, but there's also is a VXG for this too.
Ooh, show us.
He literally marks the ground with using her lighting and fire to like burn the fire emblem or the Fire Nation symbol into the ground.
Whoa!
That is so sick. Do it again.
Really cool stuff there. Just nice little touch.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So that will be available on May 18th. And remember, the rest of the Avatar gang will be coming back as direct purchase skins as well. Oh, yay!
Exciting.
So that's going to cover
cool stuff.
most of the content that's coming out with the Monstercat update, except we haven't talked about Monstercat yet. So that will be the last part of our show. We are going to cut to a Monstercat Battle Pass video, and in the meantime, we will say goodbye to Pompon, and Slushy will be joining us as well, one of the artists from the Monstercat Battle Pass. So we will be right back, y'all.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back. We are joined by Slushy. Hi, Slushy. I'm pointing the wrong way. How you doing?
How's it going?
Hi, Slushy.
So excited to have you on the show. So,
great to be here.
you have your own skin coming to Smite as part of the Monstercat Battlepass. And we'll go into all of the skins and everything that'll be covered in the Battle Pass. But I first wanted to know what it was like to have some of your music and to be a part of the process on getting things into a video game, because I know that you play a lot of games.
It's been just like a mind-blowing process. Before I was actually playing for the first time, like probably like 10-15 minutes ago. Got a few matches in.
Nice.
And I'm just, it's so cool to like be able to craft something for kind of bring two worlds together and just make something really like weird and fun happen that like you wouldn't, I guess, normally see. But it's cool.
For sure. And I know that you got your new song Valhalla. Of course. Why wouldn't you? But you've got your new song Valhalla coming out. We're going to be doing a world premiere at the end of the update show. But I was just curious what went into the making of Valhalla.
I made it at the so while we were doing the partnership with Epic, I was just like in the hotel room and I just wrote Valhalla in one night, and it was just one of those like it was like we were on the tail end of another video game collaboration, so it was just like I was in the mood to just make something super, just super like orchestral and epic, and just the rest is history. Here we are.
Yeah, for sure. It's been exciting to see how your songs were implemented into the abilities of the characters. And like I said, we'll get into that when we jump in game. But I was also wondering if you have found inspiration for your music through the video games that you play. Do you pull from?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like I'm a huge like I've been really big into like Doom lately, and like a lot of like the really kind of grungy aspects of like playing a game, like a lot of the really like crazy sound design will just like I'll hear somebody get chainsawed or like punching a wall or something, and I'll go, oh, that'd be really sick like bass or like really cool snare drum or something. So I mean, constantly in and out of game, there's just like the producer brain is just like wired to hear just a bunch of random stuff and get inspired from like whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure chainsaw sounds as you murder people is super inspirational.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then I was wondering, so you were just playing around, I'm assuming while you were playing Hades, you were playing your Slushy Hades skin? Did you get to mess around with that at all?
I was actually
I don't know if you...
as Chibi
it's not
Hades.
out yet.
I thought that you were in
Chibi
dev
Hades.
for...
It was
Oh,
so
the Chibi
fun.
one is cute. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I was like learning the abilities and stuff like that. We won both rounds, so I'm
so
pretty hyped on that.
You're going pro. Nice.
Yep, gonna quit DJing to go Smite Pro. You heard it here first.
Oh hell yeah. Well, best of luck in that. Let's take a look at your skin, Slushy Hades from the Monstercat Battlepass. The card art is absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
I'm just vibing.
Right, just getting down on the battleground. We've got some in-game turnaround videos also. So this is what it would look like instead of Chibi Hades if you're playing Slushy Hades. It's how you'd be running around. And we've also got
I like his face.
You like his
Dude,
face?
the jacket is nuts.
Yeah.
Let's get this party started.
And I believe we're going to be able to go in-game to check it out as well, to hear the abilities. And yes.
That is insane.
There you are.
It's your boy.
Yeah.
And then as he does his abilities, you'll be able to hear parts of your song Valhalla.
Which that's really like the craziest part to me is like, hearing little bits and elements like, that I can pick out from actually making the song. Like it's really cool the way that the sounds were implemented and stuff.
I love how the ultimate has like the drop. It's so sick.
That's so sick.
Oh,
So cool.
it almost makes me want to like run towards the ultimate, which
Right.
is counterintuitive, but and there's the VXG as you run around the battleground.
Yeah, he's vibing.
Yes. And so all of the skins that are featured on the artist, we're going to have music packs or music themes for all of them as well. So you'll be able to get the Valhalla music theme in Smite as well.
I love how it vibrates.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I feel like I've missed concerts for the past like year and a half or however long it's been, and this is giving me like, I'm like itching to get back to a show. Well, sweet. Let's talk about Sullivan King Gilgamesh.
Ooh,
Oh,
yes.
the harpies came.
Yeah.
And here is Sullivan King Gilgamesh shredding. What is that instrument called?
It's a sword. It's a sword instrument.
A sword instrument. Yay! We have technical terms. But this is super sick. I love whatever instrument that is. I want to learn it. Let's hop in
looks very
game to check out the
cyberpunky.
model. Yeah, it does.
Someone said, daddy.
Gilgadaddy.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so cool. I love the pants. I love the outfit,
sword.
the belt. The big sword that also plays music. Ooh, that sword actually, like on the edge, almost has like iridescent kind of look to it.
And it's like pumping too.
It's what?
Like the lights are just like pumping.
Yeah,
Oh,
Paulson? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually going to be the buy-in reward for the Battle Pass. So this will be the instant unlock when you buy the Battle Pass. And Sullivan King's song, Someone Else, will be played during this. So let's listen to the voice line.
The god of spin is in the house.
Nice.
Yes.
Looks dope. Let's head in game to check it out.
So his
Oh,
sword
how pretty.
material is the same as his shirt material. Do you see it?
Yeah, I was seeing, and his pants, on the side of his pants.
Yeah, his pants.
Ooh, that is so pretty. I feel like that instrument is too expensive to be slapping people with it.
Yeah.
I love the ground texture.
Oh yeah.
God, I love that ability
Oh, that's so cool.
much.
Drop kick the face. Oh, nice.
What is that? Is that his logo?
I
What is
believe-
that?
I believe that is Sullivan King's logo, yes. Oh, how pretty! Oh, how pretty. So yes, his song, Someone Else, will be playing as you take over the battleground.
Yeah, that is epic.
That is so fun.
Does he also have a VXG?
I believe they all
Question
do.
mark? Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I just
go
love
pun
watching
and
him.
pun.
Is he shuffling? Is he shuffling?
Look at him go.
Yo.
Oh, yeah, he
flawless.
is.
This is sick. Look at him. This is sick.
Wow.
Oh, holy shit.
Whoa. Oh, he's moving.
flying.
He can move. That's pretty funny,
Terminal
actually.
velocity shuffling.
That is dope. Sullivan King actually also worked with us on an announcer pack that's part of the Battle Pass as well. So we'll have a new announcer pack from Sullivan King, which is pretty exciting. Oh, I love it.
That's awesome.
And now we have Coven Changa. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Makes me want to dye my hair pink. And the
I
song
love the
from
song for
Coven.
this one.
Yes, Give You Up. I had not listened to it a lot before I heard it through Smite, and now I'm like nonstop. It's pretty. Let's take a look at it in game. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is goals. I'm like, I want to be this when I grow up. And the little bunny.
Dude, the bunny is just vibing.
Yes, and he's got what looks like a speaker on his back too. You know those people that like walk around the park with like speakers going? That's the bunny. And her sword? Let's listen to the voice pack.
I can't believe it! I wanted to be the headliner here for the longest time, and now I'm finally here!
Oh, she's finally here!
I know, right?
That was so cute. I love it. Let's hop in. There we are. Look, oh, sleepy little bunny.
Oh, I love the moving pattern for this one.
Mm-hmm. And her song with the basics and all of her abilities, so pretty. I love that nod. It's like you don't get the whole song, but you can hear like the little bits just as you're walking around.
Whoa.
Oh, it's so cool.
I love the colors.
Yes. I really love the iridescent kind of look. With like the rainbows, but they're very bright.
The bunny looks like he's
following
like
around.
farting. But look at the poofs. It looks like he keeps farting. It's so
They do be
cute.
farting.
Aw. Just farting little rainbow puffs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so pretty. And I believe she also has a VXG. I don't know if we've seen it yet. Have we?
So clean.
Oh my god, yes. She's dancing around too, getting down.
Love it.
She's got like the spotlight on her. She's headlining. That's what she said. She said she's headlining. She finally made it. I love it. Wait, where's our bunny? Is our bunny coming back yet? Our bunny looks like they got stuck.
She's coming.
Couldn't keep up with the shuffling.
So cute. I want this like to be my life, to be the theme of my life, to sound like my life. It's so pretty.
Save the bunny.
Crab Rave
Yo.
Capri. The moment. Crab Rave Capri.
Absolutely amazing.
So this is actually going to be the final reward of the Battle Pass. So get to playing right when the Battle Pass launches. Make sure that you don't miss it. You know, something doesn't happen where you have to be traveling away from your computer. No. Play, get this Crab Rave Capri, and never change skins again. Oh my gosh. Look at it.
Let me see your crabs, chat. Let me see your crabs.
Crabs in chat. I love it. So this is actually...
I want to see your emotes.
Tina.
Drop some crabs in the chat.
This is going to be replacing the, we usually have a recolor. So if you know the Chef Special Capri skin, this is going to be kind of like a recolor of that since they're both crustaceans. But we did a lot to make sure that it was super crabby. Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Time to hit the dance floor.
So cute. I love the texture on him too. He looks like
he sounds
a legit
so
crab.
Goofy. I love it.
Oh yay! Look at him go.
Oh my goodness. He makes me hungry because he's a cooked crab. You know how like non-cooked crabs are not red?
Food?
He looks like a cooked crab and it's yummy. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I was just trying to listen. Oh my god, look. This is so troll and I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. Chef Special Capri was my favorite skin forever and now it's over.
The crabby boy.
my goodness.
This is so hilarious. Oh my god! What's happening?
Yo.
Pawn. Oh wow, we're creating like dust storms everywhere we go. This is actually pretty sick. We need a match of the day that does this. It's all
He's
crab.
flying! Oh my goodness, Krabby's flying!
I wonder if there would be like hurt damage if he fell from too high. But
Oh,
so if Crab Rave is your thing, we have a lot of Crab Rave cosmetics in the Battle Pass. We've got like a Crab Rave avatar, a jump stamp. Again, all of these will have the music themes that go along with the artist, and then there will also be the skin. So crab it up. So many crabs, so little time. But yeah, so the Monstercat Battle Pass will go live May 18th. It will have 4 music themes, tons of content. It has a free track, a paid track. Check it out on the notes to see what you can get. But before we close out the show, I believe we still have a world premiere for Slushy's new song. Is that right?
There's a world premiere going on.
There's a world premiere about to happen. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the update show.